We're just going to get our stream messaged out to the Discord server. Then we're going to do our cold read. We'll be ready to rock and roll. We're going to get those coughs out of the way now. Live stream is live. Fantastic. All right. Woo! Here we go. Hello and welcome to Grimlyte Games. My name is Grimmy and I'm going to be your host today. We're going to be playing through all of these submissions that we got for the Grimlyte Games Be Jammin Game Jam number 4. Our theme this time around... brain just kind of short-circuited for a second there. Our theme this time around is Time is the Enemy. So I'm very, very curious to see how people decided to jump into this theme, whether it was a narrative-based work on... Click to read your unread notifications. Your microphone is unmuted but has no signal? What? It says it's recording? Hopefully it's recording. Oh, man. Well, we'll see if this turns into another issue where I end up having to redo the whole thing, but I'm not going to drop the stream and check that out, so it's fine. We're good. That was probably something from before I started the recording and I just wasn't paying attention. So anyways, Time is the Enemy. I'm very curious to see how people adapted to this one, whether they did a narrative-based, if they included a mechanic that works along how time is something that's going to be tricky to overcome. We shall see. I believe we've also got some interesting surprises ahead for us. We've got a couple of returning devs this time around. Actually, I believe we have 4. In fact, there are 4 returning devs in this jam, so this is pretty cool. And I know for a fact one of them had let me know ahead of time they tried out a bunch of new things that they've never done before, so it'll be really cool to see what they were able to do with that. All right, we're gonna start off with Chronos Clash. Before I install that and check it out, we're just gonna see who submitted it. This is from Sanjit. Your brother was massacred by the cruel god of time, Chronos. You spent your entire life training and meditating, waiting for your opportunity at revenge. You traveled all of Olympus, underworld, and deep seas to acquire weapons of the gods. Can you finally avenge your brother, or will you perish before the god of time? Ooh, okay. All right. Liking this read-in. This is my first pixel art game with all the assets, art, music, etc., and code made entirely by me without any use of AI. I did use font and sound effects from the following sites. Hey, this is awesome. I'm really excited to see this. This is some new stuff that Sanjit's trying out, and yeah, let's jump right on in. So ordinarily I would install these ahead of time, but unfortunately I've run into a problem. I'm not sure if it's how itch handles things. Wow, this is taking a while. I'm not sure if it's how itch handles things or whatnot, but sometimes after installing them, if you play them and then try to play them again, it doesn't launch correctly. Maybe it's an issue on my end. I don't know particularly. All right, Chronos Clash. I just realized I don't have my headphones on, so I can't hear anything. Let's fix that. Okay. I'm gonna turn my volume up on my... Oh. Interesting. Okay. We're gonna hang out here for a second. I'm curious if that was a bug, or if Unity just kind of reloaded it. So we've got Chronos Clash. Got a nice little beat slapping in the background, like that. Like, ooh, yep. Oh, we got some game juice. We got game juice. We love that. All right, let's check out the options. What do we got? Music volume, sound effects volume. A+, A+. We like to see that. I've said it before, guys. I will say it again. If you can figure out a really quick and streamlined way to add just these 2 options to any game you make, especially Game Jam's game, Game Jam games, it's going to set you apart instantly because these are huge features, especially, not just for players, but for content creators as well, being able to adjust all this stuff in the back end. So yes, nice job there. All right, jumping on in. You. I have trained for 30 years. I can finally face him. Got some, ooh, look at that. Background's moving a little bit, looks a little live. Kronos, the god of time. My brother, your death will not go in vain. I have traveled all of Olympus. I even went to the depths of the underworld and deep into the oceans. Now I have weapons of the Almighty. Show yourself, Kronos. Who dares to call me? Oh, this is so cool. I love this. I love this pixel art you got going on here. That's pretty cool. Nice job. You, mortal, what do you want? Nothing more than your head. You killed my brother when he had no fault. You worthless mortal, you have the audacity to question the gods. I will trap you in my lair for everyone to see. And we're starting. Okay, we got our show don't tell. Fantastic. A+T. Interesting. Okay, we got a little bit of a bug right there. Not exactly sure what's. Maybe it's the ground pixel. That's interesting though that you can go. Oh yeah. All right. So watch. You can kind of see where it executes, right? Oh, no, never mind. Interesting. I thought it elevated a little bit, but I was incorrect. Space to jump. Left mouse button to shoot. Oh. Oh man. All right. I like the animation. I like that. That is cool. Avoid spikes. Okay, so it's a little bit of a timing thing. Here we go. And yeah! Made it. Right mouse button to switch weapons. Oh, we've got 3 different weapons to choose from? Heck yeah. Those are... Find door to escape. Okay. Oh, alright. Ah, the weapons are coded to what they can take out. Gotcha. Okay. I like that. That's a cool mechanic. Fantastic. Hey. Oh, I died. Oh, good. We got checkpoints. Heck yeah. Everybody loves a good checkpoint. Alright, let's see if I can do it this time without, I love how you've also made your levels not just like flat linear, right? You go up. That's cool. Oh no! Oh no! Well, at least we fall nice and slow. All right, we're gonna try that again. We are getting close to the 5 minutes. I definitely want to try to get through as much of this as I can and just Huh. Oh, okay, we must have already hit a checkpoint, so then fall. Gotcha. So we'll just throw in a quick note right there. In those instances, you should set up a trigger zone below something like this, like it's high enough up that the player can't hit it with their head jumping, but it's low enough that if I end up falling through here, then the player just dies and gets reset, right? Because otherwise you end up running into that weird little thing where you have to kind of repeat and then, oh, but I got killed up there, but hey, now I'm at least back right here. Okay, this. Yeah. Ooh, that was close. Oh. I swear I'm great at platforming. You could potentially offset these a little bit to make it a little more challenging, but also I understand if you just wanted to make it like one long run, that also works. Not a bug, not a technical flaw, nothing like that. Hey, and we found the door. Woo! Okay, good. All right, we're to the boss. What? Did not expect that. Oh man, he's all right. He's a bit of a tough cookie. Oh, that comes from behind. I don't like it. I don't like it. Ah! Oh, clicked off my screen. Okay. Okay, I guess hitting these is... Oh no! Ah, I didn't turn. Alright, we're gonna give it one more try. One more try. Aha. Hey, excuse me, Kronos. Where you going, buddy? Oh no! Ah, all right. Well, we got pretty close. Okay. We'll go back to that. All right. So hey, all right. Let's do a little bit of a rundown there. Really, really cool. Definitely some really fun stuff that you were playing around with here. I would argue that I know you were a little nervous, right? Because you were trying a whole bunch of stuff out. Despite the fact that it was just one level, then right into the boss, I mean, you touched on so many great things here. So let's just kind of go through the list, and then we'll talk about some of the things that we discussed as we were going through on the gameplay. Fun and engagement. Did it hook me? Was it enjoyable? Absolutely. I love your reading. I love the little narratives that you set up. You know, it's always nice when a game gives you kind of this environment to be immersed in as you're playing. I'm a huge fan of immersion when it comes to my games. It's probably why I play so many different RPGs across all the different types. Yeah, it hooked me. I would love to play some more. I would say one particular thing um, is the jump mechanic. Now, I know I give you a challenge every single time that you do one of these, and I think now, especially since you definitely have shown a penchant for platforming games, I think working on developing your jumping mechanic a little bit more, really try to, I don't know, bring something different. It just there was something about it moving through that game where it felt a little unnatural, right? It was very functional. It You set up your levels perfectly so you could utilize the jump to get from A to B to C and all that. But I definitely think that now, especially where you're getting at with how your development process is coming for your platformers, I think your next step is to start working on that jump mechanic. Really bring something new to the table. Play some different 2D platformers and get a feel for how they're utilizing the jump mechanic, and see if you can start to emulate some of the things that you really like about what other games are doing with the jump mechanic. And then, you know, think about what you can add to the table. Whether it's some kind of double jump, wall slide. I mean, those are kind of, you know, played out, right? Like that's a lot. But maybe there could be some kind of parkour thing. That might be a little bit much, but you know, I'm just throwing some ideas out there. So definitely, I think the next phase for you for that, working on that jump mechanic. Theme use. How well did it explore? Time is the enemy. I mean, Kronos, the god of time, literally the enemy. So, I mean, yeah, hit the theme right on the head there. Good job. Visual presentation. I gotta say, I am a huge fan of pixel art, and I loved your pixel art here. I definitely could tell that you put some good time and effort into the animations. There's quite a few frames there. You know, and the more frames that you throw into animation, the more crisp, the more clean it's going to look. So really good job there. Definitely, if you like the pixel art style, keep working on it, keep developing it. And I'd highly recommend checking out YouTube content creators like Pixel Pete. He has a very, very good breakdown and just like an entire course on pixel art that's just right on his YouTube channel. And actually, that kind of brings me to an aside. I am going to be starting to create curated lists here on the YouTube channel to help kind of guide people to really good resources that I've found through my exploration for the various different things like pixel art, Unity, different kinds of tutorials for setting up various different systems. And I don't have an experience with Godot or Unreal, but I'm definitely thinking that we're going to try and make some sections as well to put out really good tutorials on those as well. Sound and music. Yeah, I mean, I think it elevated the experience. Definitely another thing that I've noticed as you've been going, you're getting much better at picking out soundtracks for your background that don't detract from the action, the entertainment, or the immersion. So that's really good. So I can honestly say, as I'm playing that, my brain almost wasn't even registering that there was background music. And I have to say, for the most part, that is really good. The only time you want the player's brain to really register the background music, like pay attention to it, is when it sets the ambiance. Like when you have a very artistic or a very different type of setting that you're trying to draw the player into more. And then especially like boss battles, like having some really banging, slapping music for boss battles absolutely can help uh, elevate that. What do we got next? Technical execution, smoothest bugs, controls, functionality. There were a couple little bugs here and there. Like obviously that first one right in the beginning, the movement. I couldn't even identify what was clipping there. I don't know how you have your platform set up. If they're each individual blocks, that could be something as simple as setting a mesh over your terrain. Um, because if they are separated out into blocks, I know I've run into this before, especially with games that are side scrolling. Your player can get caught on these jagged little edges that you wouldn't even know were there, right? But it's just because they're overlapped and they can cause some really weird interactions like that. So setting up a mesh layer that covers everything and just draws the entire surface area as a polygon and then puts a collider around that is definitely an easy way to fix and manipulate your terrain to make sure players don't encounter little bugs like that. The other one I would say, really, really awesome, throwing in the checkpoints there at the various, especially when you have much longer one-off levels. It's really good to make sure you do have those waypoints there so the player doesn't get sent, all the way back to Timbuktu. That being said, you do want to check for those edge cases too, like especially if you have platforming set up where the player can potentially fall. So like if I go back to the beginning of the level from a fall, but then immediately like run into the first spike I see and instantly get myself thrown back up there, I mean, it's kind of a cool mechanic, right? You can kind of cheat the system a little bit there, but obviously for the fairness to the player and to you as a dev, set up a trigger zone just below your higher platforms that when the player enters, you can do a blackout screen and then throw them back to the waypoint that you had them assigned to, something like that. Yeah. Do. Originality, anything clever or surprising in the design? I gotta say, I really liked your character design for Kronos. I thought that was pretty cool. I enjoyed the fact that we had weapon swapping throughout of it, and each weapon interacted with the various enemies and or traps differently. So you threw in a little bit of a puzzle element there, which is pretty cool. Definitely something that can be expanded on a lot more in the future too, if you decide to take this particular title further. Polish. Does it feel finished, cohesive, transition menus, all that? Everything flowed pretty well, other than those little bugs that we ran into. I'd say awesome job, especially for a game jam project. Fantastic work, great job. That was Chronos Clash, and hey, we managed to do that whole thing in 15 minutes. So yeah, let's see if we can do that for the other ones. Next up, we've got Mayday, No Time to Wait. Mayday, No Time to Wait is from a returning dev, Arl Games, submitted a game for our first game jam. There is a fairly heavy use of AI, and the first game I remember, one of the biggest issues that we ended up running into was that the mouse movement and look around was just very, very bogged down. So I'm curious to see um, if we get some improvements on the game design from the previous time. I know Arl Games did leave a message in the submission form about how they had worked on some of those things that we had brought up the first time. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's check this out. Is there anything here that I need to worry about? Trapped in a dangerous zone after your plane crashes. You play a survivor facing critical choices: trust or distrust, flee or confront, save or sacrifice. This is a narrative-driven first-person game where every minute counts, and every decision can save you or doom you. This game is the result of careful listening to feedback from my previous projects. Every detail has been carefully considered to offer you a fluid, rich, and engaging experience. I look forward to reading your feedback, suggestions, and opinions. Your opinion means a lot to me. Okay. Install, and launch. Mayday, No Time to Wait. All right, getting right into it. Turn my volume up a little bit. Nope, doesn't seem like there's any background music. Okay. Load last save. Quit. Oh. All right, so that happened when we had opened the other game too. So something's obviously going on with mine. All right, so it looks like we've got some load, we've got delete. I'm curious. I'm going to try load last save, see what happens. Nothing. Okay. So, interesting. I can, in fact, load a save that does not exist. Let's go ahead and play. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Z, S, Q, or D to move. Interesting. Okay, so there's a little bit of translation or difference. So me utilizing my keyboard, it's WASD for me to move. Okay, I will say your mouse look around definitely is improved from the first game. That's stuttering though. Oof. I don't have a ton of experience in creating 3D games, but I definitely will tell you that's something you're going to want to work on. That's going to make a lot of people sick. All right, let's check this out. Edge. It wasn't a malfunction. Someone was waiting for us. I saw the flash. It was a rocket. Get us out of here. Whoever did this will surely be here any second. Press Y. Hurry and find the first aid kit to save Edge before it's too late. Oh, there's the first aid kit. All right, we can run. Good, that's great. You know, forward and backwards is pretty smooth, so that's good. Oh, it's definitely just the looking around that's a little rough. I think we saved Edge. Thanks for the treatment. I think I'm feeling a bit better now. Please find the documents. I'm sure that's why they're after us. Press Y. Find the documents that fell during the crash of your helicopter. All right. Something has... Oh, there we go. Interesting. So the mouse movement is definitely much more slowed down around the discussions. Find the documents. Oh, look at that. Hill 02. Oh man. Ooh, this is a little rough. Fortunately, I do have a very high tolerance to visual movement. Find the documents that fell during the crash of your helicopter. I'm looking for the documents, man. I wonder if they're actually like next to the helicopter and I just totally missed that. Because, I mean, that looks like a little computer, right? That looks like documents. It's literally a manila folder. Oop, struggling to turn again. Okay. Great, you found the files. Come bring them over to me quickly. Oh, man. Okay. I don't know what's happened, but now I cannot look with the mouse at all. Oh, there we go. Fixed itself. All right. So we got a little survival fetch quest game. Cool. Thanks for bringing them back. It's probably because of these sensitive files that we're under attack. We need to find a way out of here. I'll try to fix the radio so we can contact a friend. Fantastic. Fix the radio, Edge. Hey, did you hear that? Sounds like wild animal growls. Quickly, find something to defend us with while I fix the radio. All right, I was going to cut after we got the documents back to him, but now we've got a wild animal coming. Okay. Our vision is broken again. I was going to try and find something to defend ourselves and whatnot. Okay. Come on. You gonna fix yourself? No? No? There we go. All right. Hiya! Hiya! Oop. Thought I saw another one. There he is. Mr. Wolf. Oh, thought for a second he was friendly. Nope, he's not friendly. He's hungry. Not for me, please. Oh no, this one might be attacking Edge. Don't attack Edge, he's fixing our radio. Okay, maybe it's movement when it's near the helicopter in this. Yeah, I know he's in trouble. I'm trying, man. Hiya. Hiya. Okay. All right. So that is Mayday. No Time to Wait. Submitted by Arl Games. Fun and engagement. Did it hook me? Was it enjoyable? Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to level with you. The difficulty in movement and vision, it's a huge detractor, right? It's. I want to say this in the nicest way, but in those situations in a game like that, I'm here to play it to review you. So I had to force myself to play that. So with that mentality, you're not going to get many people who are going to want to sit down and play that. So I will say one of the biggest things that I think you should focus on is really, really nailing and hammering down the scripts that you're using for movement and looking around. That absolutely should number one be your top priority for these 3D games that you're building, these little worlds. I think once you get that movement down, once you get the vision down and all that, I think from there, the next thing you're going to want to focus on is animation, hitboxes, all that. Because I definitely know from the first one, you did have guns and ammo that the player could utilize. Then in this one, we had a melee weapon. Another thing that's like huge for immersion, especially in games like this, right, is that those hitboxes, those animations, they need to feel good. If they don't feel good, it's going to take the player out of it, right? Because there's 100 other games out there that are doing the same thing. Theme use. How well did it explore time is the enemy? I mean, in a survival type game, I definitely got to say, I think I can absolutely see where you're coming from with the theme, right? Time is the enemy. Well, we've only got a limited amount of time to get things done. Obviously, while he was trying to fix the radio, we had a certain amount of time. Things were attacking. We had to deal with that, right? So, good. Yeah, theme use. We can go with that. Visual presentation, style, clarity, consistency, UI readability. Obviously, we've got a lot of AI art going on there. But I will say the modeling that was done, pretty good. It was a little bit immersion breaking to see Hill 02 written up above the models that you had used for some of the background and the scenery. So that might be something to check into and definitely play test through the games to kind of fix and identify those little things before they pop up. Yeah, there's little notes there. Sound and music, there was absolutely no sound or music to speak of, so we can't really rate anything there. Technical execution, smoothness, bug controls, functionality. We're just going to kind of touch and harp on it again. The viewing, the look around, the movement, the melee action animations, definitely things that really, really need to be hammered out, worked on, ironed out. I think that should be a huge focus for you for your next project, and I think it'll absolutely elevate instantly from a game that somebody will like have to force themselves to play to a game where somebody's actually going to enjoy kind of exploring the little narrative that you've set up. So definitely work on those, hammer on those, really, really get that down. Originality, anything clever or surprising in the design? I mean, well, it's a fairly straightforward survival narrative, right? You're in a plane, or sorry, you're in a helicopter. You go down. Some things you have to gather. You got to survive. You got to get out there. I don't think I've necessarily encountered any games that kind of have that motif of going down in the helicopter before survival. But I also have to say I'm not a huge player of the survival genres and titles, so I can't actually speak with authority on what a lot of them are doing these days. So say as far as my experience, yeah, that was a good original little narrative you had going on there. Polish, does it feel finished, cohesive, etc.? Being able to load into a game save that did not exist, obviously something that could use a little bit of polish work. Movement, looking around, again, definitely need polish work there. Animations for the attack function, definitely need some polish there. Checking to see if we've got the names of assets listed above them in the game world. Also something to check and polish up. All right, and that's going to do it for Mayday. No time to wait. Next, we are going to be moving on to Invaluable, submitted to us by Kisami712. Oh. Okay. All right. It is a turn-based strategy game where you use spells to defeat enemies. You know, I'm really loving this, especially with our repeat devs who are trying new things. Kisami712 definitely has not submitted a strategy game before, so this will be really cool. Flexing out some of those new dev muscles, trying out new things. We love to see this. Controls, only a mouse is required. Fantastic. Rules are explained in the game. All right. Asset credits, we've got font, some different sounds. Ooh, fantastic. So, hey, does that mean, oh, these assets, these are made by, definitely big upgrade, man. Nice work. But let's check it out in game. Nope. How long was that up before my brain registered? Moving right along. All right, we're going to hang out in the menu just for a couple seconds because for some reason we've been getting that thing where it like kicks us out of the game and then reloads it in Unity. So just to make sure we don't like start playing and then that happens. Hello? All right, everything seems to be working just fine. We got some game juice on our buttons. Love to see that. Nice little background track. We got slapping. All right, hopping right in. In a magical land far away, evil forces took over. Like the little pipe and drums. Unleashing the most terrible magic. They quantified time itself. Ooh. Time thus became a currency, an enemy, a luxury only the evil had control over. Ooh, I like this take so far. After many years of torment, a hero was born. This is a turn-based game in which your goal is to use spells to defeat your enemies. Each turn, the player gets some spells and time slots, which can be used to buy more spells from the shop. Ooh, okay. Every turn, the player gets to perform actions. 1. Spell can be used to attack the enemy. Rest can be used to heal the player by 10 HP. Combine can be used to combine basic spells into more powerful spells. Okay. After all remaining actions are performed, the player must end his turn by clicking the End Turn button. Okay. After the enemy's turn, the action points are restored, and additional time slots are added to buy more spells. Okay. Use a balance of actions, using spells, resting, and combining spells. Spells and time slots are renewed after each level, so no need to play conservatively. Lastly, have fun. Okay. So we've got, I want to say that's 30 time slots. We have Fireball, Stone Shower. This is 2 damage, 4 damage. Looks like we've got 2 of those. Combine. Choose 2 complementary spells to combine. Possible combinations: Fireball, Stone Shower, Lightning, Water Beam, Freeze, Water Beam. So let's see, if we combine these 2, we then get Fire Shower, which does 8. Okay. So if that does 8, 4, and 2, I definitely want to... What do we use? Okay, so the shop costs time slots. All right, we're getting this now. So then with that in mind, we can do Lightning for 4, Water Beam for 5, right? We can combine those, get something cool. Boom. Great. And then, I mean, is there really any reason to not combine these? So I was wondering maybe if we were like utilizing time slots. Oh, remaining actions, that takes an action. Ew. Yeah, take that moist shock. Those are some words I never thought I would ever say in my life. Thank you for doing that to me. Remaining action 0. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, you're gonna throw 2 fireballs at me, huh? Yeah, I see how it is. Well, I mean, lightning and water beam was a pretty powerful spell. We've got 5 actions. So let's do 2 of those. Combine those. We'll get another one of those. We still got 4 actions, so let's shop again. Lightning, water beam. All right, we'll combine those. That's going to take another action. Great, we've got 3. So we can do moist shock, 2 moist shocks, and a fire. I can't say that with a straight. so fun facts. And I mean this goes for a lot of people, but moist is one of those words that my wife absolutely hates. And there was one Thanksgiving where we were all gathered with the family, and we called up Grandma and Grandpa down at their home, having a nice little conversation. And me being the jerk and prankster that I am, I managed to get my grandmother to inadvertently say the word moist on speakerphone, much to the horror and shock of everyone else in the room. So, yeah. Oh, fantastic. I like this. This is a fun little game that you've come up with, man. And the cool thing is you have the what the heck am I trying to say here? You've got the formula down, right? Like at this point from here, you expand the enemies, their attacks, you expand the different kind of spells and combinations. Maybe figure out some ways to utilize certain spells or maybe random cards that can increase or decrease action, right? There's so many different cool things that you could dive in deeper to add to this game. The skeleton is fan-freaking-tastic. And I also gotta say, the art that you've utilized, the backgrounding, like this is one of the most depth-filled backgrounds you've created to date. And I mean, it's stationary. So that's pretty cool. Nice job there. But yeah, so guys, that is... Alright, so we do have to do it the old-fashioned way. So that was Invaluable, submitted to us by Kisami712. Fun and engagement. Did it hook me? Was it enjoyable? Absolutely. I was hooked right out of the gate. Had a nice little narrative going into it. I'm not the biggest fan of card games in which, you have the action points and all that. Obviously, the most prominent example we can think of when we talk about that is Slay the Spire, right? Now, I'm not a big fan of them, but I have played them, and I gotta say, the good ones I do enjoy, right? Like, I don't necessarily go out of my way. It's not a genre that is something that I'm actively seeking to play, but I do have Slay the Spire. And, when I've got some time to kill, I definitely hop in and I play that. Some of my favorite content creators who just cover different video games play a lot of these turn-based card games because they fit really well into the genres that they cover. And I love watching them be played. So, just some interesting stuff there. But as far as that, like, yeah, you hooked me. I wanted to keep messing around with it. Theme use. How well did it explore a time is the enemy? So it was a really cool way you built in time slots, right? So you've got action points, you've got all this, and it kind of represents, how much time you can utilize for each turn. So I think you definitely got the theme into your project. Nice job. Visual presentation, style, clarity, consistency, UI readability, all that fun stuff. Obviously, definitely we talked about your background art. That was really good. Depth building that you created there. That was really cool. I loved the art for your wizard and the art for the enemy. I think those are definitely some big step ups in your game art in general. You're definitely getting better every single game. And you can tell that you're putting in the hard work. So good job there. I did appreciate that. I liked that. Sound and music. Absolutely. I think the sound effects worked pretty well for the different spells. I could definitely tell there was something, assigned for kind of each of those. And, you had some sound effects working for your menu manipulation, all that. And the background music, it was nice. It was unoffensive. It just kind of was a little earworm playing in the back. Loved it. Technical execution, smoothness, bugs, controls, functionality. Everything flowed pretty well. You really did a good job setting up the tutorial, the show don't tell, kind of guiding the player through how they were going to utilize all that. I didn't feel overwhelmed. And when we hopped right in, any questions that I did have were pretty much quickly answered just by messing around with it for a little bit. I liked the combination feature that you threw in. I thought that was pretty cool. And I think this was a really, really good skeleton that you've created within the turn-based card strategy game. So definitely highly recommend the system you've built here. Don't completely abandon it, right? Definitely keep this one on the background as a project to work on, because this could absolutely be a game that I could see you releasing further down the road on itch, and maybe even making a couple bucks off of it. All right. What do we got? Originality. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any turn-based card strategy games that utilize time within their mechanics. I definitely think there's room to explore the theme and how you tie it into that a little bit better, and could definitely create some real original stuff. Pardon me. But yeah, no, good, good, good. Polished. Does it feel finished? Cohesive? Yeah. Other than the fact that I couldn't hit the escape key to just quickly get out of it once I was in the game, everything else was great. So actually, that brings me on a pretty good note that I can kind of share, like, for everybody as a whole. So along with having the the sound and music options to scale those up and down, being like a huge add for any game that you're creating, especially Game Jam games, being able to exit out of the game, or at the very least being able to enter into a menu screen at which you can exit out of the game, is definitely something you want to consider having a streamlined process for. Just something you can throw together real quick. I mean, UI canvas that turns on off, freezes player movement in the background, and then you can execute the game off from there, right? Simple, quick, definitely a quality of life thing that can go really far, especially in Game Jam games. But good job. Nice work. Next up, we're going to be moving on to Dinner Roll. Dinner Roll submitted by Denter. Dentier. Not entirely sure how that is portrayed. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, for your itch page, this color scheme is incredibly difficult to read. I am colorblind. I have no idea what these words say. Here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight this, and now I can read this. Okay, fantastic. So there's a weird little note that you might not necessarily encounter too much, but especially when you're setting up presentations for games or just trying to get people to want to look at it, right? Like, if I was just scanning through itch looking for a game to play, or looking for a dev to follow, and I came across this with these colors looking at it, I would instantly be like, yep, nope, not for me. Just because, as somebody who's colorblind, I mean, that was incredibly difficult for me to read through. So just something to consider, right? Trying to pick background colors for your presentation, and fonts, as that matter, right? Like, they may look cool, but really you want something that's very clean. You want something that's very welcoming and is going to give the player their first impression, right? Because this is the first thing that anybody sees, right? You click on the game, boom, this is what you see. So it's your first 30 seconds to leave a good impression on the player and get them to click, get them to download and play your game. So definitely there's some things that people could focus on here to really bring a little bit more to the table for that. This game is gross and stupid and rushed. All right, I love it. Arrow keys to roll, spacebar for jump and attack. Fart on the enemies to kill them. Okay. Each run is randomized. If you get the boss room second, sorry about that. Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. So as you're going, you may encounter the boss like really quickly. Fantastic. Okay, I understand what you're saying there. Here we go. Dinner roll time. And we are Launched. Work. We'll maximize that. Time for it to roll towards you, dinner, before the time runs out and the dinner gets cold. All right, we got a little bee here with a clock on its face. Fantastic. Start. Credits. Quit. You know, this is pretty cool right here. I can, hey, look at that. We actually have credits. Fantastic. Nice work. Let's see. Oh, exit key gets us right back. We do have options. John Travolta. What? Wait, what is this? Is this a slider for the sound effects of the music? I don't know. All it says is John Travolta. All right. Okay, I gotta say right out of the gate, I love this little menu. I think adding a little bit of flavor here could be pretty cool. Maybe just makes it darker or pops it a little bit. But other than that, I mean, this is a nice little setup. I like it. Number 1 dinner. Spacebar to jump. Heck, did I do something wrong? What? Okay, now my spacebar is working. How do I roll, though? Oh, arrow keys. Okay. So I don't need my mouse at all. All right, so we've got our arrow keys. All right, here we go. I think we're going to have to get up some speed to get up this hill. Or we can jump, maybe. Woo! Okay, that just propels us. Oh! Oh, no! Okay. All right, that was pretty cool. Okay, okay. All right, we're ready, we're ready. Oh, no. What happened? I froze it. Okay. And we're trying again. Okay. Spacebar is now freezing the game on me. Oh no. Oh. What is going on? Okay. Alright, spacebar's working now. Interesting. I guess for some reason in the beginning of the game, the spacebar is kind of locked, movement's locked. I'm not sure what that's about. What? What? Stop now. What? I'm trying to go up. Stop it. Why am I going backwards? Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh. Ah! All right, the background music's pretty cool, pretty fun. We're liking this. All right, we're gonna give this a couple more tries. I think I can do this. I can do this. I'm a gamer. Oh, that's right. The spacebar is still, for some reason, locked for the first couple seconds. There we go. Ah. So now here's my next question. How am I gonna fart on these bees? All right, we'll wait until the spacebar works. Come on. So basically, yeah, just don't hit anything, and then eventually that goes off, and then once that goes off, it's working. Oh no! Oh no! So the physics definitely seem to be holding true to, you know, which direction you're pointed in, you will end up flying. There we go. Okay. I am terrible at this game. I want to see more of it. I will say though, having to wait for the mechanic to kind of kick on, it's making it a little difficult to keep trying to speed through this. And oh no! Why did it go that direction? Trying to time this right, and there we go. What? Didn't I fart on the bee? Oh no. Oh, I wonder. Okay, I think I know how I'm gonna approach the bees. I'm gonna like turn on my side and then aim my fart at them. Okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely knew the physics were going to push me that way that time. We can do this. We can do this. All right. That really, I feel like the physics should be propelling me forward at that point. I like the music. All right. Unfortunately, I'm just apparently really, really bad at this game. I love this concept though. This is really cool. I think there were definitely a little bit of issues with how the physics presented themselves. That being said, I mean, a little bit of fix up, a little bit of tweak there. This could be really, really cool, really fun. Very, very good time waster. I could absolutely see an infinite run game like this being set up on the App Store on a phone. Like I'd sit here and play this game while I'm taking care of business, right? That'd be pretty cool. Okay, so fun and engagement. Yes, it was fun. It was engaging. It hooked me. I'm frustrated and angry that I was apparently terrible at it and couldn't figure out the timing to get through that first obstacle and that second obstacle. I will say it was a little frustrating that you're kind of like locked out of movement initially. Like you can roll, but as soon as you hit the spacebar key to get your farts going, it kind of like locks everything up until X amount of time has passed. So not really entirely sure what's going on there. If there's some kind of like time gate before that action can be taken, or what's going on, but that is a little breaking. Definitely something that I would check and address in some bug fixes down the road. But other than that, yeah, I loved it and I wanted to play more of it. I'm terrible. Moving on from there, theme use. How well did it explore? Time is the enemy. Well, I mean, if you're trying to get somewhere, point A to point B before time runs out, that's it. The whole mechanic, right? The reason for playing, the stress factor, the stakes, if you will, is time. So yeah, nice job. Great work on the theme use. Visual presentation. I like your art. It's very cheeky. I enjoy it. It has this weird little charm to it that I can't quite put my finger on, but I like your art, and I also like how it's all definitely works together, right? Like you definitely aren't borrowing from different asset packs, kind of throw stuff together. So good job. Everything's very uniform. Love it. Sound and music. I think the background music was perfect for this game. It definitely had that upbeat tempo, that putting you on edge kind of soundtrack, and there was some fun little sound effects going on in the background while it was playing. So like that, love that. I guess I should have said for visual presentation too as well. The whole like deflating when you hit the spike, that's a nice little touch. I did enjoy that. Very nice. Technical execution, other than that bug where everything was kind of locked up as far as controls were concerned, and then how the physics were kind of interacting, right? Like they were very, it was very strange. Like I could definitely tell, like when it was shooting me back, that almost made sense with how I was seeing things visually. But with the trying to gain momentum and then utilize the fart to give you, your jumping, that um, that seemed a little off, especially in the moving forward. So what could potentially fix that, or what could streamline that? So in theory, and it may be a little off as far as like the art is concerned, right? Like your bottom isn't necessarily always going to be in this position as you're rolling, but for the sake of the player and making the experience a little bit more accessible, set up the shot point for where that burst comes from to be in the same place all the time, depending on which direction the player is going. So that's definitely something that could work there. Now that would obviously make it easier, right? Now, some things that would make that difficult, it would make it a lot more difficult to then utilize that fart as an attack to take the enemies out as you're going. So that would potentially be something that you'd have to work in there, like maybe just propelling yourself with the fart would give you some iframes that would destroy the enemy. But if you decide to run with it the way it is, then obviously the next step is to just really hammer down those physics. So that kind of being said, like a general note for everybody when you're working on games and they have physics like this, if you find that you're really, really struggling to code out in a way that makes sense, that seems to respect the player and respect the game, when all else fails, you're running out of time, the physics just don't seem to be working, what I'd recommend is kind of like jumping off of that train and then think more streamlined. Like, okay, well, if I can't get the physics right, how can I streamline this so that way the game can still be played? And that's kind of what I was getting at with setting it up so that the propulsion aspect of this game would always come from the same spot no matter what. So as the player's moving forward, they can just hit the key and know that they're going to get, trajectory that is predictable. So yeah, just some little things to keep in mind when working on stuff like that. Originality, I gotta say, super duper original. I think I'm probably gonna end up throwing 5 stars across the board for originality here. Just like the concept, having to roll to your dinner. I mean, it's gross, but it's funny. Like it's the perfect level of toilet humor, and I can appreciate that. I think you did a nice job here. I like the bees that have clocks for faces. Hey, they're time bees. They're the enemy. Or ooh, maybe they're busy bees. Is that what we were going for there? Perhaps. But anyways, love the little animation style too. I thought that went out really well with everything. Polish, does it feel finished? Cohesive transitions, etc. Menus, all that. Yeah, you've got some really cool menus set up here. I think your start menu could do with a little bit of its own music as well as a little bit of flavor for these buttons. But I do enjoy that there is something here for each of them. Definitely address that lockout bug in the beginning, and then perhaps just refine the physics a little bit or streamline how the thrust mechanic works inside the game. And I think definitely that could kind of tie everything up. This would be a great game that definitely, I know it's a Game Jam game you threw together really quickly, but you could work on this a little bit more and absolutely have something that people would download. Like, I guarantee this could be a very fun game with those little tweaks adjusted. So I highly encourage you to explore this a little bit more and definitely get a prototype ready that can be shipped. But obviously, that's up to you. Nice work. Nope, not sure. Maybe the quit doesn't do anything. But at least we have the X up there. We can, in fact, click. Which brings us to our final Game Jam submission. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're good. We're at just about an hour. This is perfect. Fantastic. I feel like I'm doing pretty good about my time management today. But, it doesn't always work out that way. Battery Bound, the game where you are a little robot and put through scientific trials. But little do you know, something bad happens. Run from them and don't let them catch you. Also, watch your battery. Made for Game Jam, we be jamming. Time is the enemy. So we have, this is the masked one, another returning dev. Love to see it. I was procrastinating a lot when making it. I still wanted to add more stuff, but I guess time wasn't on my side. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Nice work. All right, let's get this installed and let's get jammin'. We are launched. Do. Oh no. What's going on? I can hear... I thought I could hear some subtle music in the background. I guess that was just my brain playing tricks on me. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay, my dude. Yeah, right out of the gate. Wow, this is a very, very impressive opening. Credits, quit settings. Let's check credits first. Ooh, look at this juice. Every single thing in this game is made by me, the masked one, from sprites to code to writing and coming up with this game idea. Except the sound effects music. Thanks, Pixel Bay, the site, not a fourth wall breaking entity. Alright, this is cool. Nice work, man. Settings. We can adjust the audio. Fantastic. Even add voice lines. I made this before the sound itself. Love it. Okay, so we can go... Oh no! I think... Oh, okay. Ah, we were just at the end of the music loop. I thought I broke it for a second by trying to go above 100. I was like, oh no! Okay, we can jump up and down by tens. Fantastic. Alright, love it. Let's get right into it. Battery bound! Okay, so here's our battery. WASD to move. Woo! Okay, so W is our jump. Oh, space is also our jump. 40. Okay, we got to make sure we get out of here before batteries. What is this? Oh, I thought maybe it was going to, like, crush me or something. Oh! You know what? I bet these are platforms we have to jump on. Sure are! Oh my god, this robot's so freaking cute. I love it. Woohoo! Oh, fantastic. Oh, great. These are moving. Okay, we know this one doesn't move. How is this gonna work? So... Oh! Oh, yes, that timing. Oh, man. Oh, he is a gamer! And... we're charged. Are we charged? Oh, okay, we are charged. Heck yeah! What? What? Oh, can I only go one direction? Oh, no way. Dude. Whoa. Okay, so what I discovered there, right? So we execute our wheel, and it's the mouse, right? So the closer the mouse is, the slower we go. The further away, the faster. So we're gonna get us to speed and jump. Woo! Oh! All right, we're gonna get it this time. And we didn't jump. Hey, but look at that! I can cheat the system. I'm not sure what that said. I want to see what it said, though. Scientist throws, kind of doggy, like alien things. I don't want to jump back over there. Oh, ooh, we're almost out of charge. Okay. Uh-oh. Ooh, that was close. I completely forgot to get started. Look at that. 3 full levels? Bzz, bzz, blink, blink. Uh-oh. Alright, we're going to need our wheel. Whee! Oh! How in the actual hecker there's no way. Can we, like... Oh. How are we gonna get across this gap? Can we actually get enough speed? Oh, let's try. I'm gonna have to charge up real quick because we're almost out of battery. Okay. Here we go. Whoa! Okay, hey, we can actually get a ton of speed. So we'll get just a little bit. Ah! Hey, we made it. Hey! Alright, I'm having an absolute blast. What in the world is going on over here? Distance. Run. Oh. Oh. Okay. Run. I gotcha. Something's chasing us. Ah! Wait. Why is that different? What? Wait, I'm so confused. Is it randomly generated? Or did I do this the first time and I'm a silly Billy? Ah! Whoa. Okay, we do have to... Oh, we also have to manage our energy while running? Oh my goodness. Ah. No! All right. Hey, wow. That... Fantastic work. Wow. Okay. Fun and engagement. Did it hook me? Was it enjoyable? Yes. That was a very cool little side scroller adventure there. Couple little puzzles thrown in there, some different mechanics to play around with. Definitely cool. Wanted to keep going, wanted to play more. Definitely am going to go back. Actually, I'm probably going to go back and play through a couple of these on my own time just so I can really see what the rest of the game has to offer. But fantastic work. Very, very good. Theme use. I think time is the enemy. Very good, right? Because the clock's essentially ticking down. You're running out of charge. You only have so much battery. But then, of course, you got these little stations where you can kind of re-up your clock. So it definitely builds the stakes where you have to get from point A to point B where the next charging station is. So that way you can, get yourself enough juice to keep playing the game. Visual presence, visual presentation, art style, all that fun stuff. I was very impressed. Everything's really good. It flows together across the board. That opening menu, just wow. That was very well done. Fantastic work. Um, I loved. No, we'll talk about that with technical execution. Sound and music, yeah, the soundtrack was absolutely slapping. I think it worked really, really well for the game that you were going for. The action that was going on in the background, fantastic work there. Technical execution, smoothness, bugs, controls, functionality. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think everything worked absolutely as intended. The wheel mechanic, um, that was a little bit tricky. Once I kind of figured it out, I definitely could appreciate it. Um, I don't know, part of me like as a player is like, I wish it was a different way. But no, I think the way you had it set up, it works. It works, and I think it has to be set up that way because even when the wheel's out, you still have those little flippers for jumping, as well as still being able to kind of manipulate left and right with your A and D keys as well. So I think being able to kind of throttle on the mouse in one direction, pulling it further or closer to adjust the speed, I think that worked very well for how everything was executed. The puzzles were fun. Having the timing and the changing of the different platforms as you're platforming, really cool. Very glad that the timing was consistent and didn't change, so I was able to execute that utilizing my gamer brain. So thank you for that and respecting the player. Originality. Yeah, I thought this was very cute, very clever. Little robot trying to escape a laboratory. He's got, X amount of battery life. He's got some cool, fun little tools at his disposal to escape. Yeah, definitely original. Polished. Does it feel finished? Cohesive. Uh, yeah, you had, I didn't keep going. I didn't get to the end, but I would say if there is an end level, this is definitely a fully finished and polished game. You could probably even add in a few more puzzles, obstacles, keep building the levels out if you really wanted to take it even further. Great, absolutely great skeleton from a Game Jam game for building on and building something a little bit bigger to potentially ship if you wanted to. I gotta say, all you guys that provided games, this particular Game Jam, really fantastic work. This is a very, very solid work from all of you. I love the fact that almost everyone here is a returning dev. Very, very nice. Really fun seeing you guys grow, seeing all the cool new progress that you've made, all the new ideas you're trying out, and then inevitably seeing games that I'm not saying this to placate. I'm not saying this to stroke your ego for the sake of stroking your ego. You guys each have some really good skeletons here that could be shippable games. I'm not saying you're going to be game of the year, but this could be something really good to definitely flesh out a little bit more and throw onto your itch profile as a highlight game for your career where you're at. and definitely could even be something that you could make a little bit of money off. Not gonna lie. All right, guys, that was awesome. This was a really, really fun game jam, and I am so incredibly looking forward to game jam number 5. This has been such a wonderful, fun exploration for me. I've been enjoying it. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. And I'm also hoping that in the near future, while it's pretty difficult for me to set aside the time to work on game jams myself with all this going on, I have in fact been working on my own game in the background. And I am really, really hopeful that within a few more weeks, I've got some more stuff that I want to touch up and finish on. I should have a fun little prototype that I can share with you guys and maybe even talk a little bit about the process and kind of where I want to go with it. It definitely is a passion project, so it isn't something that I'm trying to get too crazy with or even build necessarily for shipping to commercial. But it has been a really fun exploration because I've been challenging myself to learn a lot of new systems within games, like especially setting up state machines, which has been quite a fun challenge. And I can't wait until we get a few years into this project and I actually have the knowledge and wherewithal to maybe even share some lessons of things that I've learned and maybe even teach some of the stuff. Because right now, I mean, where it's at, I follow tutorials. And then oftentimes when I'm following the tutorial, I'll actually kind of break away, do things a little bit differently. And really kind of make it my own and then test myself to flex my game dev muscle instead of just, copying what somebody else is doing. Because I mean, that's cool, right? Like you're learning about it, but real learning comes from when you're able to take the lessons that you're following, right? The knowledge that you're being given, and then figuring out how to remodel that into something new, right? Like take what you have learned and then apply it to something else that is outside of that tutorial. So it's been a really fun process. Really hope I've got something cool I can share with you guys in a little bit. Other than that, make sure you tune in next month for Game Jam number 5. We are going to keep on keeping on. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. This is Grimlyte Games, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.